This is Dalton from Standard Capital, and I'm here with the founders of Weave, and we're going to talk about Tokenmaxxing, a topic that, for better or worse, you guys are world experts on. Start with, what the heck is Tokenmaxxing?
The stylized view here is you put up a leaderboard of how many tokens each person is using, and you incentivize people to be on the top of that leaderboard. And this tends to not go very well. There was, I think, a period of insanity where a lot of companies were doing this because they felt this was the way to be AI native. And the wave is not fully crashed yet, I think, but people are starting to wise up.
For reference, we've seen now engineers spend upwards of 10, 20K a week on tokens in our tool, which is like absolutely crazy to think about. Their output, their code output, which is the thing we measure, does not go up. They're just burning tokens on weird loops that shouldn't exist, but because they can't measure it, they feel like it's doing work, but it's not actually productive work.
I mean, this was like the line of code tracking thing, which has been widely discredited, right?
Exactly. Yes. It is the new vanity metric that doesn't actually matter. I think, to give the token maxers some credit, there's a reasonable idea behind it, which is, hey, there's this new AI thing. We don't yet know what the most valuable way to use it is. Let's just try as much stuff as possible and incentivize people to try things.
Yeah, I think I talked to someone that embraced this at their company, and the way they explained it is they wanted to root out the AI skeptics. They wanted them to show themselves where, cool, here's our leaderboard, and we're going to socially normalize that everyone's got to start using AI. You know, the early adopters are already using AI, but the median adopters would then start using AI if there was a leaderboard. And that for the people that couldn't even bring themselves to use this stuff, even if there's a leaderboard, yeah, they just want to know who those people were.
The problem here, of course, I think the viewers are smart enough to realize where this goes wrong. You can be an AI skeptic who's interested in keeping your job, and you can have, AI do completely useless tasks all day for you.
What's the most egregious stuff you guys have seen? Like, what kind of loops?
So one of them was engineers had a internal docs portal, which is where you'd go to answer questions about how does this work or what does that system do. Engineers would say that they wouldn't just go and search for the thing in the internal docs portal. They would just tell their agent to go find it, knowing that it would do the same thing, but take a lot longer and use a lot more tokens, helping them on their token leaderboard, even though they just knew exactly how to do it. So that's one example where it's just like directly burning money and killing profitability or whatever. Other examples are like, the person who's using the most tokens in the company is actually like the facilities manager who's trying really hard to track which desks are being used and just isn't quite getting it, and the token counter just keeps going up.
What is best practices? Like, the problem with lines of code is that everyone agreed it was bad, but there wasn't really a better way to measure it. Yeah, is there a middle ground of token maxing that makes sense?
Yeah, so it's weird. Private equity is at the bleeding edge of this, what we've seen. But when you actually think about it in practice, it actually really makes sense. Private equity cares about being operationally efficient. They care about every dollar being spent being maximized. So we've actually partnered with a ton of these companies that what we're doing is we're able to show for every dollar put in exactly how much output that they're getting out. And that is like the best in class, is track the amount of tokens, track the amount of dollars you're spending on those tokens, and then see if it's actually increasing your engineering throughput.
And the great thing about this is, in some cases, it actually does make sense to invest a lot more in money and tokens into a certain idea or a certain engineering team if they're able to actually turn that into results. And so, but the key thing is you need to understand what's the output at the end of it. If you're just tracking the input metric, you can trivially increase that with no bearing whatsoever on what's actually happening at the end of the day.
Yeah, it makes me think of ad spend, where imagine you had a leaderboard of who could spend the most on ads.
Be really easy to get it up.
Well, and if the ads converted really well into conversions or revenue, you should spend a lot of money on ads. Like, there are cases with really high quality ads where you should dump millions of dollars into them if they convert. But if you're not tracking conversions, what the heck are you doing? Well,
Meta and Google will be really happy, but
yeah, they would be.
This is the same now, right? Like, Claude, OpenAI will be really happy with this token maxing, but your team, your company might suffer.
I guess to complete the thought, what do you think the equilibrium will be? Obviously, token spend will probably keep going up, but is there any natural equilibrium for token consumption, I guess is the question?
Yeah, I think every company will need to figure this out for themselves. I think there should always be some room for token maxing, because it's pushing things to the absolute limit. See, how far can you get in research or trial and error, and see if it actually has a step change in how much your output is. But for the vast majority of your engineering teams, you should be measuring the cost per output. on every dollar that you spend. Typically, right now, what we're seeing is around $5-6 cost per output.
Oh, fascinating. So you actually can benchmark that.
Exactly. So we do benchmark it for everyone. Yeah, it's super effective because you can also benchmark it to humans. Like when you're starting to make the decision, should I invest in humans or should I invest in tokens? We're saying you're spending $6 for an expert engineer hour. Well, imagine how much a San Francisco engineer would cost. Maybe it does make sense to double down on tokens in that situation.
All right, super cool. Thanks so much, guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Dalton.